Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Deaths, back with another Kamihime project video. Now, before I get into talking about this current event, there's a few things I want to go over. First off, the previous event, I didn't do a video on, kind of sorry about that one, but there wasn't too much info I really could give about it anyway. That's why I had a community tab post about it. So, if there isn't any info on the event, you may want to double check that community tab on my channel, so remember that. And, about the previous event anyway, it was just some extra stuff for those that wanted to like get like I think it was a large defender for water, and then the Adon was actually pretty good because her debuff is blind and that really helps you out in the fire militias raid. If you don't have her, that's fine, but if you do, you're gonna have an easier time with that fight because that fight is all about normal attacks and that really helps out when you're taking less of them. But of course, Perseus would easily destroy that raid anyways. But then on top of that too, there's some new stuff that's popped up in the game. I will go over that in a completely different video, so expect more videos to pop up of this. But anyways, the biggest thing that people should notice is that there's a new icon on the character screen. Like when you go look at your list of characters through the equipment page, that is the new leveling system thing I've been talking about for who knows how long. You may want to actually take advantage of that because you get magic jewels for the missions and you also get more damage increase based on how much you've leveled your characters. But again, I'll go over that in a different video because I need to break that down a little bit more. But as for this current event, again, not too much I can really give on it because for some weird reason the Japanese wiki has been having issues with all that. So a lot of the events have little to no boss info. Mainly just like the heroic info is being found out from other people actually doing the fight too. So there's that. But the current event is a Valentine's event, so both characters that are in the gacha right now are limited. They will be back later though, and I do have to point out this is the first time where limited characters in the gacha actually have weapons that can final break, and then the official name is Final Break 2. We call it Ultimate Limit Break or ULB as a nickname. But the thing about that is that that's the first time limited characters actually have a weapon that can go into 4 and 5 stars respectively, so remember that. But the main thing with this event though is that there is no Eidolon. This is the first raid event we have where there's no Eidolon, and I do believe it's going to be like that for every single raid event that pops up from here on out. So to replace that, we get magic jewels. I mean, not magic jewels. To replace that, we get Eidolon orbs, and on top of that too, the SR weapon doesn't exist either. So in place of that, we get an SR guaranteed ticket. So not much better on the replacement for that, but at least we still get the Eidolon orbs. Now, I've been hearing mixed things about the drop rate on those. Some say it's more, some say it's less. I would expect about the same drop rate for those when you do the tickets and all that, so there you go. But definitely grind out for those because you do want more Eidolon orbs. You're going to need them later, trust me. But there's that. There's a weapon which is large defender for fire, and also for some reason when you burst with it, it's poison. Like if you're getting poisoned by chocolate, I wonder what's in that chocolate. But the thing about it is that it's there to have like a better defender weapon compared to the ultimate raid. So if you're not doing Guardian Raid, then that might be a good weapon for you. But if you are doing Guardian Raid, I would honestly ignore it because fire actually does get a decent amount of HP if you do your Guardian weapons correctly. And then eventually later on, you're going to want the Malicious Defender anyway, so they're going to be pretty solid for HP. But the other important thing before we even get into the heroic mechanics, which has been on screen for a while, but the other important thing, there is another limited skin, and it's the last time I've seen one since like this year on Japanese side, like a year ago. So this is the second and, as far as I know, final skin that you get for characters, and it's for Kusanada this time. You do get magic jewels from the scene. Honestly, I don't know too many people that use Kusanada anyways, because she doesn't have an SSR version. And even then, as a character, I think she's horrible. Like, personality-wise and everything. I actually, not gonna lie, enjoyed the fact that she got some comeuppance in the in her scene for the skin. But again, that's a thing that's there. You get it for basically just doing almost nothing in the event. So there's that. But big thing about this event, of course, is always the heroic fights. You get another heroic you can take a crack at. Heroic is for bragging rights because it's just giving you a medal, but I still would try it anyway just to see how strong your team is. I know my team is probably not going to be able to handle this. My water team is not that good on the global side. They have a guardian grid, but it's probably not enough for all this. Mainly because they don't do that much damage. They survive well, but they don't do that much damage. But in the case of the heroic mechanics anyway, you need water, so if you do not use water, you're going to have that whole penalty of losing a lot of damage and not being able to debuff. You definitely want to be able to debuff and all that. Big gimmick on this fight is the fact that it's like multiple damage races going on, period, point blank. So there you go for that one. Starting off, the boss reduces the damage it takes by basically everything, unless you meet one of the 3 conditions up on the screen. Either 12 normal attacks in 1 turn, a full burst, or you use 4 or more red skills in the same turn. And it's easiest to do the skill one, but the full burst would be next easiest. You do want to get rid of that damage taken debuff, because honestly it's like a massive amount of damage reduction. I think it's supposed to be like 90% damage reduction, something stupidly high like that. Which also means if you're doing this off element and have all that crap, you're only doing like 1% or less of the damage you normally would. So again, water. Use water. But the first turn, the boss is going to put that on itself, but it's going to also restore it throughout the fight, so you're going to have to remember those conditions. Now, any turn that's on a multiple of 4, like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, stuff like that, it will AoE hit you and put attack down on all your characters. You can deal with this with basically a lot of good water healers. Like, Water Soldiers came out, she can deal with it. Phoebe can deal with it, Aphrodite can deal with it. Nike can deal with it but can't remove the attack down, but if you have somebody else that like either blocks debuffs, or is able to cleanse, then you're good to go for that one. The full orbs, when it's in normal mode, is going to put a burst gauge down, like a direct burst gauge down reduction. So half of a maximum burst gauge is going to go right there. So losing 50 is a lot, but it's to one character, so you can kind of make up for it. Especially here you have if you're using Saraswati, because while she's not recommended, she does fill up her own burst gauge and somebody else's by quite a bit. So she can actually counter that normal mode pretty well. But the raging one is AoE and puts a combo rate down on all your characters, so double and triple attacks is not going to happen that much. Now, the triggers is the biggest part of this, because it's going to have multiple triggers where you have a turn limit. So 90% HP, you have 15 turns to reach 70%. So if you don't go from 90% to 70% in those 15 turns, you're instantly killed. And when it hits 70%, it's going to put the damage reduction back on itself. So you have to do the 12 normal attacks or full burst and all that again. Now at 60% HP, the timer is coming back, but it's at 12 turns this time. You reach 45% HP, and the timer goes, and the damage reduction comes back. Then from 40 to 20% HP, you basically have 10 turns, and it's going to erase that timer again, but it's going to put the timer back on at that same 20% HP. You have another 7 turns to finish a fight at that point. So if you're following, it's going to put the damage reduction on itself at 70% and 45% HP. Definitely get rid of that. But from 90 to 70% HP, you have 15 turns. From 60 to 45% HP, you have 12 turns. From 40 to 20% HP, you have 10 turns. And from 20% HP onward, you have 7 turns. You have that many turns in order to wipe out the remainder of the HP. That last one's going to be tricky because 20% in one go is going to be kind of rough with 7 turns if you're not strong enough. That's the issue I have right now. But, there's others that have done the video, and I know there's somebody that goes by the name of Dreamless. He uploads quite a few videos too. You want to check out the actual fight. Like, that's another one to look at. But, the recommended stuff, of course, no wiki info. Like, the person that dug up this info also can't find any wiki info. But, stuff that's recommended, Paracelsus, Caspar, Parashurama. Honestly, I have to add Yorimitsu to that because of the fact that she's got combo rate, red abilities, and the fact that she fills up burst gauge, so she's kind of helping in all 3 of the triggers. But I would only suggest using her if you have her weapon. If you don't have her weapon, it's going to be a lot rougher. But, there's that. I don't think you need any of the defensive souls. This is more offensive based, so there you go. But if you are going to go a little bit more offensive based than any of those other ones, the only other one I can suggest is Hector, because you can do a lot of damage with Hector with the Rage Punish. But that's only if you're strong enough and know what you're doing. But the suggested characters, the water version of Jupiter or Michael, water version of Hades. I mentioned the water version of Soul just in order to heal that attack down, because you definitely want to get that off of you. Aphrodite is another one. If you have Phoebe, she's another one too. I don't know why she's not recommended here. Phoebe is one of the best water healers. Anybody that spams skills, like the red abilities and all that, or have low cooldowns are good. Vahu's good. I would also add the water version of Fluidity in here because she actually does quite a bit of damage. But she also carries that stackable debuff, which is very, very good. So that's something to know. Because the stackable defense down makes it very, very easy to hit the defense down cap, and you do want to do as much damage as you possibly can. So that's why I specifically want to recommend her. Others that I can probably recommend is maybe like, if you really need a debuff, Ryuo is also pretty good, but I think Vahu would cover it better than her. And then there's also, if you have Fabruous, you can prevent the OD from hitting you quite a bit, so I would suggest having Fabruous on the team if you want to not get bursted down by the full orb stuff, because it will slow down the amount of time you'll get the combo rate and all that. Just make sure you can heal. And then Saraswati, I wouldn't recommend over the others, but she is useful here if you get hit with the normal mode too much. So there's that. But that's all I can really recommend for all of that, at least off the top of my head. But again, try different stuff. You'll probably see what works for you. But basically that's it. This fight, again, you have like basically timers from 90% HP onward. So how many turns you have left is where you have to really be careful. But that said, it's pretty much damage racing for the most part. It's going to have some protection on itself. It's going to try and reduce your ability to deal damage, but for the most part, it's a damage race. So keep that in mind. But last thing I have to mention too, when it means death trigger, it literally means instant death. Because one thing that a lot of people don't realize about Heroic, like ever since a long time ago, when you get hit with that instant death trigger, there is no saving you, because it is 100,000 AoE, unblockable, removes your buffs, and it spams it. It will keep using it until you die, or until it dies. If it's even able to die. They used to make them immune to damage if the trigger happened. But that's the thing. It is literally an instant death trigger. So the minute you trigger that you're almost guaranteed to fail the fight. Unless you're like really close to winning, like say you got the 20% HP trigger and then you like got them down to like 1%, maybe you might be able to finish the fight with your backup, but 9 times out of 10, I would even say 99 times out of 100, you're probably going to die if that trigger happens. It is designed to make you lose. It's not guaranteed to, but it's designed to. So keep away from that trigger. Try to get the HP down as quickly as possible, or you're going to get killed. In fact, if you're struggling on the first part of the fight where you have 15 turns to remove 20% HP, you probably don't want to try this, because that is like over double the turns you have for the final part. So that said, that's a good indicator. If you can do like the first 90 to 70% within like I'd say 7 turns, you're good to go. So that said, that's a very good indicator on if you're prepared or not. But that instant death trigger literally means instant death. You will, like, you can get more than 100,000 HP. I think the most anybody can get is like 200,000. But the fact that you're getting spammed with that, yeah, good luck surviving. But anyways, that's all for this. More is going to come soon because, again, I got to go over a few more guide videos. But, and also, I do apologize. I have slowed down quite a lot on videos in general, but, been pretty busy lately between jobs and all that type of stuff, so that's a big thing going on with me. I mean, I do need some form of money in order to fund half this stuff anyways, because YouTube doesn't pay as well as people would think. But, that's the thing. It's like, I've been kind of busy doing a lot of other different stuff, but I am trying to get videos out. I can't really say periodically, but as soon as possible, so there's that. But anyways, that's all for this. More will come soon, and take care.